episode discusses public court records and official police documents for informational purposes. Any commentary, opinions, or theories expressed are our own. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
There are some stories that capture national attention because of the way they end. Others stay with us because of the lives that came before the tragedy. The story of Davy and Natalie Lloyd and Judes Montis are both of these things. On the evening of May 23rd, 2004, just a few years ago, news organizations across the U.S. began reporting that 2 American missionaries had been killed in Haiti. The details were still developing, but one fact quickly became clear. These victims were a very young married couple serving full-time with Missions in Haiti, a ministry that had worked in the country for more than 2 decades. As additional information emerges, the story really strikes a chord here at home in Missouri. 21-year-old Natalie Lloyd was the daughter of Missouri State Representative Ben Baker, and her husband, Davy Lloyd, was 23 years old and had spent much of his life in Haiti after his parents founded Missions in Haiti in 2000. Together, the couple had chosen to return to this country after they got married and help oversee the ministry's bakery, school, children's home, and church outreach. But within hours of this terrible news, condolences arrived from churches, elected officials, and missionaries from all around the world. And as often happens with breaking news, the first reports sometimes focus entirely on the final chapter of the story. We learned where the attack occurred. We learned that armed gang members were responsible for this. And we learned again that 3 people, important people, had lost their lives that evening. Natalie, Davy, and Judes Montis, the ministry's Haitian director. What those early reports couldn't explain, though, was who Davy and Natalie were, what had brought them to Haiti in the first place, and why they had chosen to stay in Haiti, despite increasingly dangerous conditions there. And those answers require us to step away from these headlines, and we need to spend just a little bit of time understanding the people and the country at the center of the story. You guys, today's episode isn't intended to just revisit a tragedy for the sake of a tragedy, and we hope you never think we do that. Instead, this is an opportunity for us to talk about and understand 2 young people, 3 people, and how they were shaped by service, the ministry that was their life's work, and the country that they loved enough to call their permanent home. We'll also look at this situation in Haiti because it's really impossible to understand exactly what happened on May 23rd, 2024 without fully understanding the challenges that the country of Haiti faces and has faced long before May 23rd, 2024. Thank you for being with us today. This is Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. I'm Megan.
And I'm Mindy. Thank you to all of our listeners joining us today. We appreciate all of you.
We have the best podcast community out there. We do want to give a big thank you to all of our new Patreon members and all of our new Facebook page members.
You.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you. I mean, it's crazy. We are now over 45,000 downloads of Missouri Mayhem. I know. And we've been listened to in 28 different countries.
That's
not
crazy.
States, countries.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. We also want to remind our amazing listening community out there about the Boozy Book Fair, Boozy Book Fest that's coming up. We had mentioned that in some of our previous episodes. And this is, again, being put on by the Gilded Page, a bookstore out of Kansas City. And the Boozy Book Fair is going to take place at Bartle Hall Convention Center on October 3rd. And we're going to be an artist vendor.
Ooh.
So come join us. If you're interested There'll be tons of different artists, creators, authors, booze, if you're into that. And so last year they claimed 3,000 to 4,000 people went through, and I saw some pictures, and it looks like a fun time. If you're interested, Mindy, what's the website they can go to? Do you remember?
They can go to www.boozybookfest.com.
Yeah, so head that way if you're interested. Now, before we get into the actual events of that awful day in May of 2024, again, we really do have to talk about the location of today's case. Mindy, what do you know about the country of Haiti?
I know, isn't it right next to the Dominican Republic?
Okay. When it
Is
comes to
it?
geography, I'm not
I
1,000 for
think
sure, but yes.
I think it's a dangerous place from what I understand.
Okay. Do you know how it became a dangerous country, or what we assume is a dangerous country today? Do you know?
I have no idea.
You're right. It actually shares, it's part of the island of Hispaniola
Yeah.
or Hispaniola, however you say that, and it does share part of the Dominican Republic.
Okay,
So
yeah.
good. You're on the right.
Well, because I know that if you go to that area, they encourage you to stay in the Dominican Republic and not Haiti
Right.
because it's isn't a third world country?
Well, based on the crime and everything, and it's really sad how it came to be. It's
Okay.
not like we have a country that like went from being prosperous and just didn't do what it was supposed to do and then
Yeah.
became this, this
Mhm.
hard place to potentially live. So let's just kind of get into it because I
Okay.
knew about what you knew.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I knew the capital's Port-au-Prince. I knew they've had some natural disasters and some devastations there. And I knew that it could be a very dangerous country.
Yeah.
And all that's just, again, from what I've learned on TV.
Yeah.
A lot of people associate Haiti with earthquakes, hurricanes, political unrest, kidnappings, and gang violence. And that's kind of the image a lot of people have. And while that is undeniably part of Haiti's modern history, again, we have this big story. So
Yeah.
I'll do my best to explain. I'm sure it won't be perfect, but we got to answer those questions to kind of know kind of what led us to this event. So Haiti occupies the western third of the island of Hispaniola in the Caribbean. And like you said, Dominican Republic is there too. And Haiti is home to more than 11 million people.
What?
So that's a bit.
9 million people live in New York City, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
So,
that is a lot of people.
Yes. And its history.
That is a lot of people. Why?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Why
there
that
so
many people? That's a good question. I mean, because I think, well, let's hear about the history and that might answer some questions. But I mean, its history is extraordinary. So in 1804, after a successful revolution against French colonial rule, that's who owned and had ruled Haiti up to this point in 1804, Haiti finally becomes the first independent Black republic in the world at this time. And it's the first nation established by formerly enslaved people, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That achievement profoundly influences the history of our Americas.
Yeah.
But it becomes at a tremendous cost to the Haitian people because political isolation, economic hardship, and the burden of what are known as indemnity payments demanded by France, it shapes this country from the beginning to the end.
And yes, I definitely want to know what indemnity payments are.
Okay, my first thought was, okay, they're paying money for something.
Yeah.
But what? So indemnity payments, let me tell you. So in 1825, 21 years after they have left this French oversight, France comes back to Haiti and pressures them into paying these large indemnity payments. And they say, since you took all of the workers from our plantations over here in France, and our French people are losing money because you wanted to be independent, you should be paying our plantation owners so that they can still survive. Oh, so we were slaves
so France
for you.
Pressured Haiti to do this.
They're like, you guys did this. You're independent. You're not under our control. But the fact you wanted to be independent, you took all our labor from us. And we're not doing our French plantation owners deserve to be paid. And what did they say if they don't make the payments? Well, we're going to come back in and reoccupy Haiti.
Yeah.
And we can do that easily. We can overpower you guys. So Haiti felt like they had no choice. Now, does Haiti just have this money to start making? No. And France knows this, I assume.
Very poor.
It's terrible. So to meet these payments starting in 1825, Haiti has to borrow heavily interested, high interest rate. They have to borrow debt and money from these French banks at these exorbitant high interest amounts to make these payments to them. I mean, it's crazy.
That is.
And although France later does reduce the amount that they have to pay, Haiti continues repaying these loans that they had to take out until 1947.
So how many years?
So 120 years.
They were making payments?
Payments either to the French plantation owners themselves or to the French banks.
Oh my gosh.
So there was no way.
There's no way ever going to pay
and this
not going to stop.
Tremendously caused financial strain on Haiti, and they could not put infrastructure in, water, electricity. They don't even have the money for that. They can't create a healthcare system. They don't have any
education.
No education. All of this, and you would be like, well, that was 1947. That's 80 years.
It's still like
no,
that.
They cannot get a leg up.
No.
They just can't. But we see all these long-term economic challenges. But just like most nations, Haiti is a place of contradictions. It is also a country of remarkable resilience. Lots of creative people live there, artists, musicians. Faith is huge over there. And there are still families trying to live everyday lives amongst these challenges. Visitors often describe Haiti as a warm place where people are so generous. And Haitians themselves have repeatedly demonstrated that they have an extraordinary ability to rebuild after adversity. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. They've had a lot of terrible things happen, and they just keep trying to move forward. And those qualities, when all this other bad, horrible stuff is happening, it's easy to overlook those amazing positives. And we want to remember, this is a country that is not just defined by its hardships, and that the people living there don't see themselves as victims of Haiti.
Well, because they've lived there their whole
Right.
life.
We are Haitians that live here, and we love this country despite all of this.
Yeah, that's all we know.
Exactly. They still have schools.
Yeah.
People still want their kids to go to school. Businesses need to open each morning. Churches gather for worship regularly. Birthdays, weddings. I mean, life is still continuing. Can you imagine, though? We really take for granted how fortunate we are.
How easily we can pull off everything you just said.
Yes. And the fact that they're living in this war-torn country and still trying to do those normal everyday things and live their life. Now, that perspective is really important because this is the Haiti that Davy Lloyd knew growing up. While the rest of the world, encounters Haiti through the news and social media, Davy experienced it in real time as a child and then as an adult because he experienced it through relationships he created there. He learned Haitian Creole as a child. That's how much time he spent in Haiti.
So, did he love it?
He loved it. He formed relationships that he had his whole life there. And he watched his parents who created missions in Haiti. He watched them dedicate their lives to serving Haiti in the community. And this wasn't just a place where his family worked and lived a good portion of the year. This is a place that his childhood developed.
Yeah.
So it was ingrained in him.
Yes.
So to understand why Davy would eventually return as an adult, because you're like, why do people choose to go to these? That's very dangerous.
Right.
But it's important for us to understand, this goes back to the beginning of Davy's life.
Yeah.
To the beginning of his parents' ministry and the decision they made in the year 2000 to go to Haiti and establish this Missions in Haiti group. And that decision, of course, not only changes so many lives in a positive way, it also sadly affects their life because of this event. Now, we need to know a little bit about Davy and Natalie, the family. So let's kind of get into like what brought Davy's family there and how all that developed. Okay, so let's start with his parents, David and Alicia Lloyd. Long before Davy was old enough to understand like what missionary work really is, his parents had already developed a deep commitment to serving others. Like that was their calling. In the year 2000, they decided, you know what? Haiti is a place that really needs help, and we think we can help them.
Yeah.
They went there, and again, Missions in Haiti Group, an organization that was basically their goal was to provide practical support and ministry to the Haitian communities. And their work grew out of a belief that helping people meant more than addressing one or two needs and just responding during moments of crisis.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't just want to hop in, oh, you had an earthquake, here's help.
Right.
Oh, you need us to build a school, here you go. We're going back to the US.
Yes.
No, they wanted to build long-term relationships. They wanted to build facilities.
Things that would last.
Yes, that they could help oversee and that were there for the long term. They wanted to invest in the Haitian people. And that was the approach that the foundation of their ministry was built on, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And over the years, missions in Haiti, they just grew. They developed programs that serve children and families through education, food production. Their bakery was a huge thing for the Haitian community. They gave employment opportunities through these things, the schools, the bakery, and they also had spiritual outreach. And they also had a children's home. I mean, they had developed a lot in 20 plus years.
A lot.
And again, the bakery was especially significant because not only did it provide the Haitian communities with food, it provided them with jobs. And for many of the families, the Haitian families, being able to have access to just steady employment and food was a huge thing. I have a job I can get paid at and go to every day, and I'm not in danger, and I can have food. I mean, and again, this is where they're wanting to help families not just survive day to day, but like to thrive.
Yes, and that's something that can be easy to overlook when people hear the word mission.
Right. I feel like the word mission and missionaries is kind of thrown out a lot.
They might think only about church services or short-term volunteer projects, but what Davy's parents were doing was much broader than that, it sounds like.
Yes. They basically created a life in Haiti. They created
we're going to do this.
Community. And and we're going to hear a little bit more. The organization itself is actually run out of Oklahoma, which it sounds like his family has a lot of roots in Oklahoma too. But they spent a good majority of their life in Haiti.
Yeah.
And again, that's what we need to realize is that by the time this event happens in 2024, Davy has been part of the Haitian community for 24 years.
Yes.
This is not, oh, in college, I heard about a missionary opportunity and I'm going to go do this. He is ingrained in this community from the time pretty much he can remember. And for Davy, home being connected to Missouri and Haiti, again, he was born in the U.S., spent a lot of his childhood there. I told you already, he learned how to speak Haitian Creole. He developed a familiarity with the communities around him. He had friends there. He had people he considered family. And he saw firsthand on a daily basis both the struggles that the people faced there and the strength that they showed. And although it seems that most of his youth in Haiti revolved around good experiences, it really does. It sounds like Davy had a lot of really good positive experiences growing up in Haiti and helping the community. He did have a couple terrifying things happen to him as a kid while he was over there, which they stuck it out. They're like, we're here for the long haul. We don't care what we're here. Because in 2005, a very frightening event unfolds in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. At just 5 years old at this time, so literally, he was born in 2000. That's the year they started this. In 2005, when Davy is 5 years old, he is abducted.
What?
Along with his 3-year-old sister, Hannah.
Holy crap.
And their 7-year-old Haitian foster sister, Miriam.
3 of them?
Yes. And the children were just leaving school. Armed men who claim to be police officers intercept the vehicle that they're traveling in and kidnap the 3 kids.
They take them out of the vehicle that they're in?
The kidnappers used a fake police van to take the kids, and this was horrific. And of course, immediately this case drew attention of the Haitian authorities and and I'm sure the U.S. authorities being missionaries over there. And investigators from the Haiti National Police, they do a great job, thank God, because pretty quickly, thanks to witness testimonies, they are able to track the abductors to an apartment building in a neighborhood known as Del Mas. And this neighborhood is known to be scary and very challenging when it comes to security. Now, the following day, so less than 24 hours later, officers raid this location and they successfully rescue.
So they found all of them?
Davy, Hannah,
oh my God.
Miriam, and they were unharmed. Like, thank
what
goodness.
Did they do with them?
You know, she's 7, it's 7, 5, and 3. So
who knows?
Right. And what their memories are. But it said they were unharmed. Now, 7 suspects are arrested, including a former Haitian police officer. So again, we got corruption going on here. Now, this incident becomes a very powerful example of the dangers that face people in Haiti, not just Haitian people, but people there as missionaries.
Yeah.
And it also shows the importance of law enforcement in Haiti, too. You know, like, so we've got, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later, but, you know, the police presence. And so this happens, again, they're brought home safely, and it didn't seem to deter the Lloyd family at all from being over there.
Oh my, if anything's going to freak me out, it would be getting kidnapped.
And this is just 5 years after they've been there. How easy would it have been?
I'm going home.
Exactly. How easy would it have been for them to be like,
out, for real.
But they're like, no, like we have a mission, and that's what we're here for. So 5 years later, again in 2010, Davy experiences something else that's very scary. At just 10 years old at this time, Davy experiences one of the deadliest natural disasters in modern history in Haiti. On January 12th, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake strikes Haiti, and it devastates Port-au-Prince, and it kills over 200,000 people. I remember this. I remember
it was too
awful. So Davy's living at his family's mission compound in the Missions in Haiti organization when this disaster hits. And Davy says, according to all accounts, you know, him and his family, they witnessed destruction firsthand. I mean, they were seeing buildings collapsing, overwhelming poverty afterwards, people in the streets, people homeless, hungry, lack of water, medical care. And while many people saw this as an opportunity to just, it's time to leave and go home or like back to the U.S. or another country or leave for safety, not Davy and his family.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, they're amazing, really. I mean, they decided, like, if we're going to do this.
We survived that.
Well, we're committing ourselves. We're not going to go in and this is why we are here.
We are going to get kidnapped and we are going to survive an earthquake.
Well, I mean, I got to give them props. It's something that I don't know a lot of people would have been able to stick out.
No.
But they did. They chose to stay in Haiti, helping with relief efforts and supporting this community because it was a long process of recovery. Now, this experience did leave a lasting impact on Davy. Surviving the earthquake alongside the Haitian people, like, it didn't deter him. It strengthened his connection. Like, we are together in this.
Yeah.
I was here. You're here. This is a commitment to serving this community he considered home. People who knew Davy said he was someone who was just deeply connected to ministry in general and the people that he served. They said he was very comfortable working with his hands. He was very helpful with practical and logistical needs. And he was just able to step into whatever role in the moment was necessary. And again, the ministry is not something that was separate from Davy's life. It was his life. You know, this isn't like a job my parents do. Even like, you know, a school teacher, a lawyer, a doctor. This is our life.
Yes.
And as Davy got older, he did have opportunities to potentially choose other career paths, just like any young person does. I mean, he could have done something else. He could have built a life in the U.S., somewhere else. But no, his experiences growing up dramatically influenced the direction he wanted to take. And it took him back
to Haiti.
So this decision, though, to make Haiti his life and his job is very significant, especially when he meets Natalie, who ends up being his wife, Natalie Baker. So let's talk a little bit about how they meet.
Okay.
Natalie Baker grew up in Missouri, and she grew up in a family similar to Davy's, where faith and service are very important parts of life. And her father, Ben Baker, actually later ends up serving in the Missouri House of Representatives. But before he entered public office, they again were very heavily involved in ministry and community service. And those who knew Natalie said she, again, very much like Davy, she was a very caring person. She wanted to take care of the people around her. And she's young. I mean, they're in their early 20s. They're in college. She's just trying to figure out, like, what direction is my life going to take me?
Yeah.
Where am I going to go? She'd always said to the people around her that she wanted her life to have purpose beyond herself,
yeah.
And that shared desire for service became one of the main connections that brought Davy and Natalie together. They end up meeting, from what I can read, at the Ozark Bible Institute and College in Neosho.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The College of the Ozarks?
That's different. I think that's actually down at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh,
this is called the Ozark Bible Institute and College. But it's in Neosho. I think that's where we got our two dogs, Layla and Sophie.
Was it?
They were bred in Neosho. Yeah, but that's where they met, at this college. And another interesting thing I came across is that actually before Davy met Natalie, before they actually met, Natalie's dad, Ben, was teaching at this college, this Bible college, and had Davy as a student.
Oh, okay.
So, and he'd always said he was very thoughtful, nice. So when they started dating, that probably brought some comfort. Like, I met him in a neutral student setting.
Sure.
And he seemed like a good guy.
Yeah.
And now he's interested in my daughter. And although, again, their backgrounds were a little different, he grew up a lot of his life in Haiti. She was here in Midwest Missouri. Their values poorly aligned.
Yeah.
Again, they both knew that they wanted to serve others in some capacity when they got married.
And they had that in common.
Yes. And so together, their relationship starts forming. And this, of course, eventually leads to marriage. And they get married in June of 2022.
Okay.
Both very young, in their early 20s. And for many newly married couples, you're like, okay, do we have good jobs? Do we have a place to live? We got to figure out, do you have things that bother me?
We're adulting.
Yeah, we're adulting. Do you have habits that are going to drive me crazy? Those kind of things.
Do I really want to be with you? No, I'm kidding.
No, hopefully that's not the question. But for Davy and Natalie, those early years weren't like that. They very quickly made a decision after they got married that they were going to move to Haiti. Like, we're not going to try and find jobs here.
We're not even going to mess around. We're going straight to Haiti.
Yes, and we're going to take on leadership roles within.
I mean, they love this place.
They do. And it is moving. I think that
I think it is too.
Are so dedicated to
of all the places you could live in the world.
Because it's not getting better over there. And
you got kidnapped and stuff and things.
No, and Davy and Natalie are like, you know what? We want to be part of missions in Haiti. Like, we want to do that. And they do. They decide they go over there, and their responsibilities within the organization included helping oversee the bakery, the school, and the children's home. And their daily lives involved just ordinary responsibilities. They would work with staff. They helped care for kids. They participated in church activities. They were just continuing the work that Davy's parents had started. And people need to understand something that's very important, that their connections to Haiti, this is not based on just, again, this brief experience. This is decades of relationship building. So you have to understand that. Davy was highly invested in this community.
Well, he understood the language.
He understood the language. He could speak the language. And he also understood the dangers. That's something we want to talk about, because he's not going into this place naive.
Right.
By the time Davy and Natalie are living in Haiti from around 2022 to 2024, within that time period, the country's security situation is very much unstable and becoming increasingly unstable. Political turmoil, economic challenges, and this growing power of armed gangs. This is affecting daily life more than it ever has, especially in the capital, Port-au-Prince. Now, humanitarian workers and missionaries, they had to constantly be vigilantly aware. Roads that they had once been able to travel down and not feel they needed to worry about were starting to be unsafe. Neighborhoods that they thought they could trust being in or being a part of were changing. and decisions about traveling around Haiti and their ministry activities, they were having to really stop and carefully consider.
Yeah.
Like, do we go here? Do we do this? Do we need to maybe postpone this?
Right.
But they still had kids that needed schooling, families that needed food, employees that needed jobs, church services that needed to be conducted. They're like, okay, things are scary and hard right now, but we love Haiti and we're just going to continue to serve them the best we can
Yes, they
at
are.
this point. And that commitment would become one of the defining parts of Davy and Natalie's story. But it also places them, as we know and see now, in the middle of a crisis that is just becoming more and more dangerous with each passing month. And to understand what happened on May 23rd, again, we need to know what was happening exactly in Haiti during those months leading up to that night. Like, things had gotten worse, but what exactly was going on in the months leading up to this event? So by the time they're living over there, again, we're talking about very unstable and getting highly dangerous.
Yeah.
And Haiti's challenges, again, have not been caused by one group or one single event. This is pretty much crisis from the beginning they established. They were not given a fair chance to even start in a productive way. And in the years leading up to 2024, this one issue becomes impossible to ignore, and it is the armed gang expansion. They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
And not are we only
And that's what when I think of Haiti, I do see people with guns.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And it's not like it's one gang that's taking over, it's multiple gangs. And the gangs not only are at war with each other, they're at war with the public.
Yeah.
And these groups have started to influence politics, government institutions, and security forces. I mean, it's just these because they are hard to control.
Yeah.
And what had once been considered localized, random criminal activity has expanded into much more. Again, gangs are now controlling neighborhoods they didn't have control over. They are blocking roads to schools and churches, so kids can't go to schools, people can't worship. They're still carrying out these kidnappings, and they're using violence regularly. Now, for ordinary Haitians, this meant that daily routines become even more complicated. Again, we're worrying about access to food now, medical care, education. And these humanitarian organizations that were over there, not just missions from Haiti, but there's a lot of organizations over there in Haiti that are working.
A trip across town would be dangerous.
Yes, just across town. Again, they didn't know what roads were being blocked, what neighborhoods had been.
I just got to go get something and come right back.
Well,
I'm stressing out over it.
Exactly. That is becoming very scary. And the people working in Haiti, again, they're not unaware of what's happening. They're reading reports of these dangerous things. They're hearing the warnings, and they're seeing the changes firsthand. But for Davy and Natalie, these concerns of these dangers exist parallel with their reality. And that is, we are here to serve people.
Yeah.
And we're still here, and we're not leaving. And the children attending schools need help. The families connected to their ministry needed help. And we can't abandon the bakery and our children's
We
home.
made a commitment here.
Leaving Haiti at this time for Davy and Natalie would not have just simply meant like leaving their job. Like, I'm just quitting my job. They're leaving people, children, and relationships. And, again, that doesn't mean their decision was simple. I'm sure it wasn't just simple as we're staying. I mean, I'm sure they talked through the risks. I'm sure the organization said, like, should we leave? Do we stay? What are the risks of staying?
Yeah.
But basically the same, this question does come up with people that are humanitarians and work in ministry, especially in war-torn countries. At what point does the danger become too much for missionaries? When is it too much to continue their work? And who gets to make that decision when the people most affected by the crisis don't have an option to leave?
Yeah.
So we're here helping you. Oh, sorry, things are getting really rough. I'm going to head back to the U.S. where I have a lot more rights and it's a lot safer.
Right.
You guys can't go anywhere.
We're out.
So again, that's the kind of moral struggles they had. And those questions became increasingly important as conditions in Port-au-Prince, Haiti were starting to deteriorate. Okay. In early 2024, again, one of the most severe periods of unrest. And Davy and Natalie are continuing to serve. So let's talk about the night of the attack. Okay. Again, they're very aware of what's going on. They have decided to stay, continue their mission. On the night of May 23rd, 2004, what had began as a routine evening of youth ministry in Haiti turned into a deadly siege for Davy and Natalie. Davy is 23. His wife, Natalie, is 21. And along with them is the Haitian mission director, Judes Montis, 47. Judes, I'm not sure if it's Judes or Judas Montis, he's 47. And they are serving a community in Lizon, which is a neighborhood in Port-au-Prince. So they're in this neighborhood of Lizon. Judes, Davy, and Natalie. Now, Judes Montis, he is a longtime Haitian, native Haitian, and he has been a leader within this missionary that Davy's parents created for almost 20 years. Okay. They met Judes over there early on in their creation of the mission, and he became a quick part of it, and a vital part because he's a native Haitian, and he was able to, connections. So it's so sad. He was with them as well. On May 23rd, Davy, Natalie, and Judes were leaving a youth group event with several children when their vehicle is intercepted by armed men, very similar to when Davy was kidnapped.
Okay.
The attackers arrive in multiple vehicles, and they are posing a threat that quickly overwhelms the mission compound. Davy is assaulted, basically beat severely, struck with a gun. He is tied up and restrained.
Pistol whipped.
Yes, tied up and restrained, and he is taken inside the mission compound. And gang members start stealing their things, going through their property. And I've read two different versions of exactly what happened at this point. So one version said this first gang beat Davy up, tied him up, took some things, and left.
Okay.
And just when they think they're out of the woods, a second gang arrives. Others say while the first gang was there, a second rival gang shows up. So now we have two gangs at the mission compound.
And Davy, Natalie, and Judas.
Yes, Judes, yes. And during this confrontation of reports of these two gangs there at the same time, a gang member is shot and killed. Well, they don't know who shot it. They don't know if it was Davy, Natalie.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, the mission security personnel. But they basically decide to shift from we're just here to rob you guys. Now it's a retaliation. And this mission compound becomes a battlefield. Davy, Natalie, and Judes, they manage to escape into a nearby house that's connected to the compound. And once they're inside, they barricade themselves, but they are surrounded by these gangs outside for 3 hours. They are trapped inside the compound.
And they're just trying to find them?
Yes,
I can't believe they didn't just burn them out.
Well, during these final hours, Davy has a phone, and he is trying to call his dad. Can you imagine?
No.
And David Lloyd, his father, is in Oklahoma, back here in the U.S. And his father tries frantically to coordinate a rescue. He contacts the U.S. Embassy, Haitian authorities, any emergency contacts. But
man,
it's too crazy.
Yeah.
On the ground there in Haiti, it's overwhelming. The area has just been taken over by these armed gangs. I mean, there was no way that they could get help there to them. And I can't imagine how much of a helpless feeling that was for David Lloyd.
Terrible.
And as the standoff continues, Davy stays on the phone with his family for as long as he can. And he's trying to negotiate for their lives. And at one point, I mean, this had been going on for hours. And I mean, they're scared to death, violence, fear. And on the phone, Davy says to his dad, I'm just really tired.
Gosh.
Like really tired. And at this point, the attack then starts to reach its final stage. After hours of being confined and stuck in their home, being surrounded by gunmen, the gunmen open fire on the house. They shoot through windows. They break through the doors. and kill Davy, Natalie, and Judes, and then set the building on fire. And inside this chaos, there's another story unfolding because remember, there were other additional staff around and children with them when this happened. The mission staff luckily had acted very quickly when it started and were able to move the children that were at the compound into a secure location, still on property, but a secure location where they were hidden. And from what reports say, those kids and staff members literally had to remain silent through all of this.
Not a peep.
Not a peep. And in the morning, Haitian police did arrive and safely evacuate
So
them.
they were silent that whole time.
Correct. And I mean, in the final moments of his life, those who knew Davy said he continued to talk about his faith. He continued to even try to speak faith and worship to the people who were trying to kill him and harm him. And that, they feel, is a final act of compassion that really shows who Davy and Natalie and Judes were. In the immediate aftermath of these killings, the response came from many directions. Family members spoke publicly about their grief and their memories of Davy and Natalie and Judes, and missions in Haiti continued to share updates around the world. Government officials were expressing condolences, and people wanted accountability.
Yeah.
But how do you get accountability in a country like that?
How do you?
You know, we're going to talk about that in a minute. For Natalie's dad, Ben Baker, I mean, this was personal, unexpected, and as a state representative, he found himself addressing the loss of his daughter in front of the media and public. I can't even imagine. The family statements emphasized that not only are we grieving, but we want you all to remember why Davy and Natalie were there. We don't want to forget that.
The reason.
Yes. And in the months that followed, the Haitian authorities do announce that they are conducting an investigation and it's progressing. And in August of 2024, they do arrest a suspect connected to the killing. So not long after this happens.
It's good.
I mean, this ambush of the compound, it involved a large number of armed gang members connected to potential rival groups. And again, it made the investigation extremely challenging. But they do, in August of 2024, the Haitian National Police arrest a 52-year-old man by the name of Vinis Celestin. Authorities reportedly linked him to the case after discovering that Davy Lloyd's stolen phone SIM card had been put in another device, and that this Vinis Celestin had used it to make calls shortly after.
To make it look like he was still alive? Or what?
Or was he using his SIM card? Did he need a SIM card?
Yeah.
Was he just stealing from him? I don't know. Now, this Vinis Celestin guy denies involvement, said he had no role in it.
Yeah.
Now, investigators have also focused on gang networks that were operating in the Lizon area, which included a group that was connected to a broader gang called the Chen Machan Gang Network. I don't know. Authorities continued working to trace phone records, gather evidence, and want to get as many people brought in that were responsible for this as possible. Now, are they going to get justice? They don't know, honestly. And they do want accountability, but they don't, again, the family, they want accountability. They want the people responsible to be held responsible. They consistently say, though, the lives that are gone cannot be restored. Our people are not coming back. And for those who loved Davy and Natalie and the missions organization, they're like, we want to remember who they were and continue the work that they valued.
Yes.
We don't want this to be something that prevents people from becoming missionaries now, or helping those. And that commitment was especially important because they did face a difficult question. How do you keep serving a community after 3 of its leaders were killed brutally by the citizens of the country?
And why were they killed?
Well, they started off being robbed, and then one of their gang members was shot. And so they started retaliating, and basically they didn't know if they had shot. They basically ended up, we're like, okay, let's go. Now it's a full-on fight.
Fire.
Here. Yeah, and then that's when they surrounded him, and I don't know if after 3 hours, we're just going to kill him. And they're like, okay, we've already done too much damage here or what? But basically, things came to a head.
Yeah.
Now, it was clear, though, for those involved in the mission, it's clear, not simple, but clear, we're not stopping. our mission. Because for Davy, Natalie, Judes, this story is not just about, again, we did this and we're leaving. Like,
Right.
checklist. This is about serving people, buildings, programs, ministry. And at Missions in Haiti, again, we leave, kids don't have schools. They don't have food. They can't worship.
Everything just falls apart.
Yes. And that means then that we have to continue this even when our three loved ones.
They're faithful people.
Wow. Their deaths, of course, created an enormous loss. And for Davy's parents, David and Alicia Lloyd, the creators of this foundation, they just are like, you know what? We are going to find a way to preserve our son and daughter-in-law's story and our director's story, and we're going to share the impact of their lives. And one way that they decided to do that was by writing a book. And they wrote a book titled Strong to the End, The Simple Service and Sudden Sacrifice of the Martyrs in Haiti. And this book was written by Davy's parents, David and Alicia Lloyd, and it's an account of their lives, their faith, their commitment to serving in Haiti, and the circumstances surrounding their loved ones' deaths. And instead of just focusing about the attack, the book focuses on Davy and Natalie's lives, their experiences, their relationship, and what led them to the ministry. Mm-hmm. And the main theme that they really want to stick out to is perseverance.
Yeah.
You can't give up. Like, this is not something we can just give up on. And you guys, Davy and Natalie, they understood what service was about. They knew, especially Davy, knew the serious challenges they were facing in Haiti. And they knew that working in this area meant uncertainty, sacrifice, and difficult decisions. And they continue to do that. And that book provides the perspective of parents who not only lost their child and their daughter-in-law, an important member of their ministry, but they want people to remember them for the way they lived, not the way they died. Now, when communities lose people, especially people like this who have strong missions and faith, one of the ways that the community wants to respond is by creating places or programs to continue those people's legacy. And for Davy and Natalie, their families and friends have done that. So their alma mater, the Ozark Bible Institute and College, has established what's called the Davy and Natalie Lloyd Academic Center in their memory. And this center serves as a reminder of the couple's commitment to education, ministry, and preparing others for service around the world. The school also established the Davy and Natalie Lloyd Memorial Scholarship, and this supports students who feel called, of course, to missions and ministry. And these efforts, again, reflect something that's important about their legacy. They not only want to remember them, but they want to influence the future. They're not saying don't go into missions, that yes, it's hard, tough, these bad things can happen, but we need people.
Yeah.
We need missionaries. We need to provide scholarships for people that see this as a calling. Create a building, like this academic center where people can learn and serve. And that keeps them alive. The Davy and Natalie Lloyd Foundation was also created to continue supporting the work that they cared about. So they've had multiple foundation scholarships in their name. So I think that's great. And it just provides a lasting legacy. Now, when a tragedy like this happens, especially one involving people who dedicate their lives to helping others, there are always questions that follow a tragedy like this. And the biggest one is, how do people reconcile a tragedy like this with the purpose and calling that brought Davy and Natalie to Haiti in the first place? People may look at this and say, why would anyone stay there? And we kind of question that too. Your kid was kidnapped, and then you lived through an earthquake where 200,000 people died. Why do you persist? Well, the reality is very complicated. And people who do humanitarian work are so unique and special that are highly committed to that. The people that provide assistance to these communities, again, this is not a one-off thing for them. It's basically they become involved like a person does in their neighborhood, their block, their neighbors, their local community. It's no different. And to them, this is more than just, again, checking items off a list. This is, we are embedded deeply and we're willing to take those risks. And that means some people will live in a dangerous area. Some organizations might pause operations. Some organizations might actually have their loved ones come home. In the case of Davy and Natalie, these were two people who believed strongly that we are going to stay in Haiti. We're going to continue to foster these relationships, and we cannot abandon our people in their time of greatest need.
No.
And I think that, although doesn't remove the terrible tragedy that happened. It does explain a little bit about why they stayed.
Yeah.
It really does. Now, before we wrap up here, let's, of course, end with a prayer for Davy, Natalie, Jude's families, their lasting legacy, and all that they've been through, if you don't mind, Mindy.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just come to you today after this podcast, and we are so thankful that you have created people in this world that are like Davy and Natalie and Jude's. And we just ask that you put your hand and your just wrap them up, their family and friends that lost them. And what they did is so, so, so remarkable. And we just ask that you just keep creating people that do what they were doing, just nonstop work for you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You guys, if you're interested in learning more about the ongoing work that is connected to the organization Missions in Haiti, just Google it and
Yeah.
you will find all kinds of resources. And they also run, again, they have a children's home in Haiti, and it's called the House of Compassion through the Missions in Haiti organization. So definitely, if you're interested, you can find that information.
Remember, all of you matter, and we are glad you spent with your day with us. We love you. If you have a chance to rate, review, or follow us, it would be greatly appreciated. This has been Missouri Mayhem. I'm Mindy.
And I'm Megan. Thanks again for being with us today. Don't forget to stay safe, stay kind, and stay curious. Missouri, you bring the mystery.
And we'll bring the mayhem.
Peace out.